Hey guys, so I have this Nala fig pin that I got at a trade event last year sometime, and I'm excited to finally use it. We'll see if I can come up with some other cool ideas for some other pins that are not princesses. This will be my first non-princess. Oh, well, that's not true. This will be my first animal fig pin craft, but I think I came up with a good idea for it. So let's go ahead and get started with this Nala craft. So instead of starting with our base, we're actually going to be starting with some of our pieces because there's a lot of shading that we need to do. So let's go ahead and get a piece of scrap paper here. I am using some dies that were from a set from several years ago. It's Rhino Ready was the stamp set, and I believe that's the name of the dies as well. They were a special like thing where they started doing these little online releases, and so these came with these dies. And I'm using a tree, 2 trees, and these little mounds, which are like grass. And so we're going to be using that. But I feel like it needs to be shaded a little bit. So we're going to test out a little bit of shading in 2 places. So I have this scrap piece of garden green, which is where I cut out my tree pieces. And I want to decide if I want to shade with shaded spruce or if I want to use mossy meadow. So let's try it out. Because garden green, I just want it to be darkened a little. Let's try with shaded spruce first. Let's see if I like that look to it. Or do I want the mossy meadow dark look to it? That might be okay. Let's try mossy meadow and see how we do to see if that's the right color. Sometimes you just have to try things. So I'm brushing the other side. I mean, yes, they're both green, but this is actually almost a black. I should have used maybe a different brush, but I just kind of want to see the different texture to see if the mossy meadow is really what we want. That was my first instinct, was to use mossy meadow. But I think I'm going to use the shaded spruce because the shaded spruce is a brighter color and this is such a bright, fun project. I'm going to just make an executive decision of using shaded spruce. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tree pieces, which is, I was showing, I had used the inverse to show you what I was doing. And we're just going to go ahead and get our shaded spruce and we're just going to color up our little tree. I just want there to be a little different. I like the garden green. I just want there to be a little extra edging. Oops, I folded it. That's where you have to be careful sometimes when you're doing these little pieces. That was my mistake. I think it's okay. Yeah. All right, and so I'll be gentle on this one. Because that little bit of shaded spruce is going to show up on these little lines, especially in the center of this piece. Oh, this one got nice and dark. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's what I wanted, was something dark like that. So that's perfect. So we're done with shaded spruce. So the layout that I have for our frame is we're going to be doing this here. And then I've got these cute little trees and mounds of grass. And I've got a couple of each. I do think I want it up high. Like that. And it needs something in front or it looks weird. And we're going to add some green texture to that. These are all going to be 3D elements. Let's see. I can also just add more grass. I just kind of like the idea of like these rocks here in front. So it added a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's what I want. I think we're good there. So I was thinking I would need to cut more and move this paper, but we're good. Okay, I just was a little afraid to move the paper and glue it and stuff. Because again, this is a one pin, like essentially a one and done. I don't know if this paper is very slick. It's not, it doesn't feel totally like regular paper. So let's go ahead and use some tear and tape on this to make sure it holds to the cardstock. I normally don't use this because I like my white glue, but just a little concerned. Okay. So the layers of paper that we're using, I normally show you the layers of papers first, but this is rainbow glimmer paper, and it truly is rainbow. It comes from rainbow paper, and I just am using the top piece. And then we're attaching it to, this is 4x6, and then we're attaching it to Rich Razzleberry, which is a retired color that we don't have anymore, but I had an extra piece, so we're using it today. Whoops. This glue sticks down really quick, so you don't really want to mess with it too much. The wet glue, you have more leeway time to move things around and press, and okay, that's good. All right. So this is 4x6 of the rainbow, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 of the Rich Razzleberry, and 5x3 of the Blackberry Bliss. And Blackberry Bliss is a normal paper that we carry all the time. It's in our current stock. So we're going to go ahead and attach this to the Blackberry Bliss. And you see there's a lot more when I attach this, because it's the white glue, it's a lot easier. The Tombow liquid, monoliquid glue. Also archival safe and good glue. It has slides a little, you know. So it has its other challenges, like sometimes it gets stopped up and things like that, but it doesn't adhere as quickly as the tear and tape does. Tear and tape is essentially like a sticker. All right, so we've got our basic layers there. We need to glue together our trees. I think with the trees, you know what? I think I'm going to use that tear and tape, but a little differently. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put tiny bits of tear and tape along here. It's a little easier than a glue dot. And just a little bit. And see if that helps me. Oh, I'm going to need a little more, I think, because I want the tree to hang down. I want the glue to be near the edge there. I'll put this piece here. See if something will attach to it. Whoops. It was on my finger. And we'll lay our tree on it here. I think I'm going to add one more piece a little lower. We're going to put dimensionals as well, so I want to make sure the branches are long, but not too long where they're not going to show. Okay, there we go. There we go. We'll press that down. We'll add a little piece there to hold that one in. There we go. Everything's pressed down. We'll do the same thing over here with this one. And we'll add dimensionals over the top so the stickiness doesn't pop up, if that makes sense. Okay. There we go. And again, this little tape, you could use Scotch tape or things like that, but I'm trying to, oops. There we go. There we go. There we go. And we'll just put a tiny piece there. All right, there we go. So we've got our basic trees, and we're going to be popping those up on dimensionals. So what I'm going to do with this for dimensionals, I'm actually going to be, because it's so narrow, I'm going to be using the flat adhesive sheets that we have, and I'm just going to cut a strip, and let's get some pieces. It almost, I think it will almost fit. There we go. And let's cut this piece here. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that, oh, that's gonna look good right there. Okay, and then we might need to put another piece right down here at the bottom to adhere it, but I think we can work a different plan for that. I'm going to cut this piece off and pop it on across this one. Technically, I guess this little adhesive foam could have held our tree together, but I don't know. All right, the only problem is getting it to glue. It's going to be a little difficult for it to glue to the glimmer paper, so we might need to get out our hot glue gun actually. Actually, I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun because we're going to need, the adhesive will not totally stick to the glimmer paper, so it's good to have a hot glue gun to help adhere it. You don't need a ton of hot glue, just a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and plug that in now, so when we finally get there, it'll be nice and hot and ready. This is Granny Apple Green. I'm actually going to take the markers for, is this Lemon Lime Twist? Yeah. Let's take some markers for the Granny Apple Green, and let's go ahead and mark up our paper real quick and just kind of see what blends in and what doesn't. Let's see. Okay, that's the dark, and this is the light. And let's let that sit a second to see which one. I think the dark one will not blend in too much. So we're going to be putting these two there, and we're going to be putting this mound on top. Okay, the light is too light. It just fades away. The dark, I think, might be our winner. So with the dark, I have this paper just so that it doesn't bleed. We're gonna just take our grass and we're gonna add dabs of the dark to our grass, just kind of like to just add like a little bit of shading to these little mounds so that they're not so stark. Okay, and it just adds this little bit of texture so that the grass mounds don't look so stark against the other pieces. And this one we said was going to be here, and this one we said would be in the back there. We're going to put some dimensional on the back of the grass. And then I wanted the tree, like, we might have to add a glue dot to the end of this, okay, to attach the tree. And same thing here, we'll put some dimensional on the back of this mound. Go. Maybe no rocks at all. We also have a label. We need to make sure we can fit our label at the top. Okay. Danger, I laugh in the face of danger. I think that looks good. I had planned where I was going to put some rocks or something like that behind her, but I actually think this looks really good. And yeah, we're not going to use the rocks. I thought I was going to use these, but I changed my mind. Okay, so I think we're just about ready. So let's go ahead and affix our label, and that way we can put our trees in the right spot. Our label is a little bit bigger than normal because of the setting of how I had it in the printer, but that's okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll add all of our dimensionals. Okay. And we will pop this onto our paper with some hot glue. And the reason why we need some hot glue is because it's very difficult to get things to stick to the glimmer paper. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our hot glue gun and we're just going to dab a little bit of hot glue onto each one and then quickly adhere it down. Okay, then we want to have our trees. I mean, I don't think I want one right next to her. Let's try it again. No, because she's too big. It needs to be kind of like it's in the distance. And this one will be flat. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and put this tree down. I'm taking the little glue piece off because it won't adhere to the little. I'll just add a little hot glue here and let's put it right here. That is our first tree. And then we can decide on whether we want dimensionals for this piece here or not. Yeah, I think no dimensionals. I'm just gonna glue it down. Yeah. And so because the tree is already 3D, I don't think this grass needs it in this situation. Okay. Then we need to set up our other tree without covering up. And I don't mind that this comes off a little to the side. I kind of like that. I guess we could have her in the corner instead of having her in the center. No, I want her in the center. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and glue our tree down. It's really funny how things evolve while I'm making these videos for you, because sometimes this is my only Nala pin, so I couldn't even make her like a sample of her. Sometimes I get 2 of the same pin and I can, oops, I want it over to the side. Oh, no. Okay, let's see. Okay, luckily hot glue can usually be moved. Maybe. Yeah, I think we're okay. Because I want it to come a little bit off to the side of the frame. In this case, most of the time I don't, but in this case I do. I just want it to come a little bit off to the side. There we go. And it even covers up some of that hot glue mistake that I had earlier. Then we'll go ahead and we'll pop this. This is going to have a dimensional. I'm going to go ahead and add a tiny bit here to the edge of that, as well as across the foam here. I want that paper to adhere to this grass. And just kind of brush those little strings of hot glue away. And then we'll put our Nala right here. Oh yeah, that looks much better. And we're gonna put a dimensional on behind her head, and I think behind her paw here. That way she's popped up plenty. And then maybe we'll add some little like butterflies or something. Maybe some gold butterflies. Because I don't really have anything that matches these colors exactly, but gold would be good. We're gonna go ahead and add a glue dot, even though it won't stick very well onto this glimmer paper. It's just to help ensure that that little, to help ensure that this pin stays where it goes, where it's supposed to. Okay, let's go ahead and peel these off and put our little board down. Let's get her centered. Oh, she looks cute. Dang, she looks cute. All right. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. And I think the butterflies will look great and add another element. So I'm gonna, again, we're gonna have to add a little hot glue to the back of them because they won't stay just with their own glue. Yeah, the glue that they have is not strong enough. Just work quickly. Oops. There we go. I was able to pick it up. Just work quickly because that hot glue dries quickly There we go. I think it's staying. And let's put a couple up here on the sign. Oh, she is darling. It's funny how when I make a new frame, I'm always like amazed at how cool it turns out. I mean, I'm confident in myself and my abilities, but it's interesting how, I don't know, I just think it's interesting how you can, okay, these ones look good. I think I want one more right there. Let's go ahead and put one more up. That's way too much glue. And see, these ones that are winding up on the glimmer paper are very, they're like popping up quite a bit. Actually, let's go nuts. Let's put one over here too. No. And let's put, I always do things in odd numbers on the bottom here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more big one. I don't know if I want it. No, I want it here. And we'll put it this way. And I'm just using my tweezers to kind of pick up any of the extra hairs or blobs of hot glue that are sticking out. Oh gosh, so cute. That is a darling. Oh my goodness, that is turning out way better than I even imagined in my dreams, really. I didn't know, I knew I wanted to use this paper because I thought that would really add a cool like sunrise type element, but man, it's turning out way better than I thought. Okay, so this frame is from Amazon. You can buy it at fabulousstamper.com. And I like these shadow boxes because, I don't know, they just are so good. I just like the way they turn out. They were nice and thick. Fig pins are really thick. So as a result, I couldn't use some of the more inexpensive frames. If you guys have seen my other crafts, I've used some of these flat, skinnier frames and done great, fun things with them. It's not so easy to do that with the fig pins. They just are the posts are too long. So these shadow boxes, they're quite dusty sometimes when you get them out of the packaging. So get all the dust off. There's quite a bit of static electricity that's going to show up after we take the cover off the plexiglass. So just get that prepared. But because it has this nice thick foam in here, it's even better than having cardboard, which is what I've used in other frames. It's nice and thick so the fig pin can go through it but not damage it. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and pop this down. Okay. And it's poking just the tiniest bit through on the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to, it's all dusted off. So you just go ahead and my recommendation when you're using this is peel off your plexiglass and then be done. Don't mess with it. Don't keep playing with it. Just peel off the cover and then put it down in the frame. Because the more you play and touch and whatever, all the static electricity just keeps building and it's just better if you just don't touch it. All right, so we'll pop that in, pop the back on, and I believe we are done, you guys. Oh, it looks fantastic. Look at how great that looks. Doesn't that look cool? And if you need to get any dust off it, I just use like a little bit of of a memo note. Not the one that has too much glue on the back, but just a little bit. And that helps get anything off. Oh, she looks fabulous. It looks so good. I can't get enough of it. Oh man, it's perfect. I didn't know what to expect, but it is perfect. I'm gonna have to get some more Nala-Fake pens and make a few more of these. It's so cool. I have a Simba. I think, no, I don't have a Simba. I have an adult Simba, I think. Maybe Mufasa? I have a Scar. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate you. I am so happy this turned out so well. Thanks so much, and I hope you guys have an excellent day.